There we go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sheila.
I'm Cammie.
And we're here today to talk about the joy of herbs
and chakra crystals.
Yay! So glad you could join us. We're having a good time tonight, and we want to talk to you about something that's pretty cool. So
if you can't hear us, let us know.
Yeah.
I think
free to chat in the chat box. Anyway, so what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is the joy of herbs. A lot of people shy away from using herbs, and partially because they don't know what they do, what they can do with it, what they can't. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. So one of the nicest things about herbs is if you can use them when they're fresh. It's not always necessary, but it's definitely an option. So growing an herb is not scary. I know for a lot of people they say,
I don't have a green thumb.
You don't have to have a green thumb. I don't have any green thumbs. But what I can do is grow some herbs. So why don't you go ahead and hand me, Cammie, one of the empty pot. Alrighty, sorry. So wanted to show you just basically how easy it is to start an herb. So this is a pot. This is not a plastic pot. This is a paper pot that they use that decomposes. So let's just say you're the type that you don't have any time and you don't have time to dig a hole and take the plant out. You can actually plunk the whole plant with the dirt, plant, the roots, right in this pot, and you can bury that in the dirt, in the ground, wherever you want to start your herb garden, and it will be contained. One of the herbs we're going to talk about tonight is a wanderer. It has a tendency to grow big and to creep and to get much bigger, and it's something that would probably be best contained. Maybe you'd want to use, if you were planning on keeping it a long time and you have other herbs there, you may want to go ahead and use a plastic pot to contain it. But if you're okay with your plants going wild, then use one of these. So to start an herb, I would use a pot like this or a plastic pot and get some potting soil, or some people, if they have access to like their neighbor's composting pile, let's just say your neighbor is, really eco-friendly and has a great composting pile, and they say you can help yourself. That would be a nice way to fill this up without the cost of potting soil. And then you would take either your seeds or your plant and put that in the dirt. And it's very important to cover those roots, because roots are not supposed to be exposed, just the leaves and the stems. And you just make sure those roots are covered. Or if you're going to plant seeds in there, you're going to fill the pot up to maybe about here, maybe leave an inch or half inch. And then you're going to sprinkle some seeds in there, and just cover it with dirt. Now, in some cultures, what they like to do with seeds is they like to breathe on them to kind of give them the spark of life. So what they'll do is they'll take those seeds before they put them in the pot, or maybe as soon as they put them on the dirt, and they'll, wish them luck, wish them happiness. And then they'll go ahead and put that on and try to get that air to them, and then they'll start their garden that way. And I've heard from a lot of people that when they start their garden that way, it seems to do better. So anyway, but we're going to go ahead, and if you can hand me the box of seeds. So I'm just going to show you this is what I keep my seeds in. It's just a coffee can. But I have different seeds that I like. So if I go in some place and they sell seeds and I think, at some point I'd like some of that, or maybe I'll take some of that and trade it with somebody else, then I put everything into my container. Now, if this is your first time growing herbs, I myself wouldn't bother with the seeds because that's harder. Some people, they want to do a cutting, and so tonight one of our first herbs we're going to talk about is mint. And what they'll do is they'll take a sprig of mint and they'll prop it up into some water until the roots grow in the water, and then they'll put it in the ground. Problem with that is, like the seeds, it's the next step towards having the plant. But if you're not that familiar with it, if you're the type to forget to put more water in the container while it's trying to grow roots, then you might want to just go ahead and cheat and go to a farmer's market and buy one there, or like a place like Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that, or a local plant store, something like that, and then start your plant. Myself, when I first started to get into herbs, I just bought the plant, because that all other thing, that's great and good, but it's, yeah, somebody hand me one of the plants. Hand me the mint.
You want the mint?
Yeah, I want the mint. That's the big one. Then you'll probably have better success. And so I want to show you one of my favorite herbs. This is called chocolate mint. It is amazing, and it's easy to grow. Super, super easy.
Smells amazing.
Yeah,
the chocolate mint.
It smells like chocolate and mint.
It does.
And it's edible. So thank you, plant. You just take the leaf and eat it. So one of the things when I got this plant, I got it and I realized that I know a few of the properties from talking to friends, reading up on it, that kind of stuff. But one of the first uses I had for this recently was I was feeling nauseous one day. I don't know what was going on, but I just wasn't feeling that well. So what I did was I took one of the leaves and I sucked on it, and then I ate it. And the nausea went away for me for about an hour and a half to about 2 hours, which means a lot to me, because it used to be that if I got nauseous, I ate something. I would eat a carb. I'd go for bread or something I would think that would soothe my stomach, maybe even milk. But this worked like a charm, so I was pretty happy with that. And one of the things I did with this recently is shared the plant with a friend, so I just broke off that piece of the plant that came over this side, going down to the roots, because those roots don't stop right at the top. They go all the way down. So I just kind of took that chunk off, put it in a pot, and this will fill in. But this is a great plant to start with, especially if you love chocolate. I mean, you rub against it.
Smells amazing.
You rub against
Just sitting here smelling it is just like awesome.
Right. You walk by this plant, you brush against that plant, you know what it is. Yeah, and it is actually really good. Some people use chocolate mint for a tea. Some people use it in a tincture. Some people cook with it. It's good in ice cream. It's good in some salads to kind of brighten something up, or brighten you up if you're in bad mood. This is the one. This is the plan I think I would go for. So talking about plants, here, I'm going to hand that back to you. There's a little bit of responsibility that comes with them, just a little bit of thought. I know when my herb garden got kind of big, and when I was going on vacation for 7 to 10 days, I did ask for a babysitter to come by and water my plants. I live in a very harsh sun climate, so the thing about herbs, a lot of herbs, is that they would need some frequent watering. And if you can keep them out of, I'm in Florida, so if you can keep them out of direct sunlight, I like to put them in the shade a little bit. But they still get plenty of light. It's just that I don't want them to burn to a crisp, and then water them every 2 or 3 days. And since it's going to be super cold tonight, I have brought my herb plants in and put them in the garage because I really don't want them to freeze. So,
do you want another plant?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get another plant.
Which one would you like?
Let's show off some rosemary. So tonight we're actually going to talk about 2 different types of plants. Let's start with the little one. Thank you. So this is a rosemary plant. Rosemary actually comes in several different looking plants. So just like mint can come in chocolate mint, which is my favorite. It can come in something that smells like peppermint. It can come in something that smells like spearmint. It is totally different. The smells on those are totally different. this is a rosemary. I like this kind of rosemary a little bit better than the other kind I'm going to show you. This one seems to have a more gentle smell. You could use this if maybe you weren't feeling so well and you wanted something in the air to smell good or something to put under your nose to try to open up your senses. The same thing with the mint. And this would help. You could also cook with this, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of uses for rosemary. Let's go ahead and pull out the other rosemary, and I'll show you what the other one looks like.
This is one most people recognize.
Yeah, so
I like this one.
Yeah, this guy is in the shape of a like a Christmas tree, and I picked him up for not much money because the store didn't quite know how to water them. So it's recovering. And it also has a great smell. A lot of people cook chicken or
rosemary chicken. Awesome. Love those rosemary chicken.
Or if you don't like chicken, maybe you just like mushrooms and onions and stuff like that. Maybe some spinach. You could cook it with some of this rosemary. Now, the big caveat with rosemary is it can make something taste soapy if you use too much. You have to use very, very, very little. Like it's a secret ingredient.
Maybe that's you.
It could be me.
I'm just thinking because you have the cilantro that does that with people. Some people have that genetic gene that like cilantro would taste soapy to them, and other people it won't. So maybe there's something like that. Sorry.
And usually if I have a chicken dish and if I think there's too much rosemary, I just brush it off and it's fine. But I'm very careful with the amount that I use on this. But look how different they are. This one smells closer to me to a lavender than this one. This one smells more pine tree. I mean, it's the shape of a pine tree, but it smells more like a...
It's more robust.
Yeah,
it's more robust.
This is definitely a more...
Yeah, the small one is a gentler, lighter.
And so, when people say, oh, I'm cooking with rosemary, it kind of makes you wonder, like, which one did they pick? Okay, we're going to send that one back. Send the babies back. The other thing to consider with your herbs is, first of all, when you're going to start, I should say, only start with 1 or 2, at the maximum 3. You want to learn about them and get to know your plants, and then you just have a lot more fun with them. I think when you start getting into larger groups or starting off too soon, it can get confusing. What did I plant there? What is it doing? And I think it's just a lot more fun to start with 1 or 2 and really enjoy it. That being said, a number of herbs are poisonous to animals. So for cats, in small doses, I was reading that it's okay, you haven't killed your cat or your dog, but in larger doses, it can do serious damage to them.
One?
Both of them.
Oh, both of them?
Yeah, the rosemary being safer than the mint, but either way, don't have them in your house if you have pets, because you don't know what they're doing when you're not there unless you're watching them on one of those cameras. So I would recommend not having that in your house any way, shape, or form if you have pets, or in the backyard where they may be wandering, digging, eating.
Or make sure that they are not ones that want to eat it.
Right. Or you could even, have them in a hanging basket. For dogs, that would be fine. Cats, they seem to find a way. So
three cats, and only one of them was ever interested in eating the plants. The other 2 didn't care.
Yeah. So
you never know.
No.
Know your animals before you bring plants into the house.
Exactly. So that
works.
Yeah, know your animals. And if you don't know your animals, then my recommendation is you can keep them outside. And like I said, in Florida, I just find a shady spot like a northern exposure, and that's where I keep them. I actually keep them underneath some rose bushes so that if they do get some direct sun, it won't, burn them to a crisp. So let's talk about what a plant needs. So it's pretty simple. You need the water. So I need some water. I need some dirt to cover up the the roots. It definitely needs some sun. Obviously, your plant's not going to do well if you put it in a closet. And I know these are obvious things,
does
but
well in the closet.
no, but plants don't do well in a closet or in a garage that doesn't have any light. If you forget about them and you bring them in the cold, just, try to give yourself a reminder. And again, if you end up having a larger garden and you're going to be away for a while, having somebody to stop by and water a little bit certainly is definitely going to help. Some people talk to their plants. That is the exchange of gases. It's also, I think, for a lot of people, and for myself, it's very calming. Like you sit there and you're looking at your plant and you're kind of like, oh, how you doing? But you're exchanging gases with that plant, and they seem to do better.
Sounds strange.
Yeah, they do. You are changing gases.
It just sounds strange. You say nice things, just and you're calming yourself. Most people get that. You just talk to your plant. The plant likes that. When you talk to your plant, then of course you're giving it the carbon dioxide and all the stuff that it needs. But when you say exchanging gases, it just doesn't sound well. Okay.
All right. Fine. I've been corrected. So some of the things you could consider: plant food. Plants and trees do need to be fed sometimes with extra nutrients. So potting soil in general will last quite a while, but let's just say you've had the plant out there for a while and you're wondering, is it doing okay? And you don't want to spend the money on some plant food, which can come in a liquid form, it can come in a pellet form, it can come in little tiny pellet forms that'll last for like 3 months. Then what you can do is you can do things like bananas for calcium. You can chop up your banana peels. You can stick them around the pot, just randomly at the top of the pot. Eggshells for calcium. Plants like that too in general. And so you could just take your eggshells. Some people put them in an air fryer before they crush them up. I'm not that fancy. I'll just, take them, rinse them off, crunch them up, and just put them around the roots, and the plants seem to love that. So, and let me see. Hang on a second. So, let's keep an eye on what the temperature is. I don't know where you live, but wherever you are, if it's too hot or too cold, keep that in mind. Make some arrangements for maybe the plants to come inside for a bit when it gets really cold or snowy or icy or that kind of thing. And that's another reason why to just start with a few, because then you can have an idea of how many plants can I easily take care of and feel good about. So let me see. Some things you may need when you plant and you really get into it are, if you have a lot of sun, you may need a hat to keep the sun off your face while you're doing that kind of thing. Some people like to use gloves if they don't want dirt in their fingers and that kind of thing. And if you're pregnant, I definitely advise using gloves. And because I don't think when I was pregnant many years ago, they advised to use for pregnant women not to have their hands in soil. I don't know. So what I think
on me, I have
we have like a gazillion list of things not to do.
All right.
But something to consider with herbs is, if you ever go to somebody's house and you say, wow, they cooked this meal and it was fabulous. I mean, wow, what did they do? And often you'll find out that person who's cooking or that chef is using fresh herbs. It's sometimes as simple as that. It could be the same dish you cook at home and you're like, why is it so great when I go over to this person's house? And then you find out they use some fresh basil, or they use some fresh mint, or they use some fresh rosemary.
If you use any at all, I'm sorry. Some people are not great cooks. I have been to people's houses who do not understand how to use spices, herbs, seasoning.
Don't be afraid of it.
Salt and pepper.
Try it. It's not that hard. And if you want to talk about, maybe you're more into talking about life in a series of like vibrations and stuff, working with herbs certainly would help raise your vibration and get you more in touch with nature. A lot of us live in little boxes and we don't get out much. And I think having some fresh salad or herbs or whatever in your diet and in your life and in your interactions, it's just going to make you feel better, because we are part of nature and we're not really made to just sit in little boxes. We're supposed to go outside, enjoy the sun, like the plants, and, to feel good about that. So, but, keep it in mind. So, what is your dream? If you ever thought, well, I like this person, I think they're so neat because they grow herbs or they do these other things, it's never too late to go ahead and try that. Try that dream. It's not that hard. Growing an herb is a lot less complicated than learning how to ride a bike, learning how to drive a car. There's a lot of people that know how to do that, but they don't know how to actually grow an herb. So this is a lot easier than that. This is relatively simple. All you have to do is take the steps, and if it doesn't work out with the first one, well, you just try it again and start making some friends who know how to grow herbs.
Yes, make friends that grow herbs so you don't eat herbs. You tell them I don't have to worry about it because I'm not good at the plant. But what I really am good at is crystals.
Why don't you tell us?
I love crystals. I love all kinds of crystals. I love talking about crystals. I love, having crystals. I always have crystals on me. And what I'm going to talk about tonight is crystals that we can work with our chakras. So I have this lovely little container here that I made myself.
Why don't you bring it a little closer?
And I put this little picture of chakras on it, and like most people are familiar with this, it has the different colors and the different points on the body that represent the chakras. So, your base chakra is your root chakra. And that one is usually associated with the color red.
Why don't you tell everybody approximately where that is? So,
well, if you're sitting, it's kind of like right at your tailbone. So it'd be right there at the base. That's usually where it's represented. All right. And then chakra crystals you're going to use to relate with those colors. It's the best way to do it. I have my box here. I have like 4 different crystals for each of the chakras. I'm not going to go over all of them.
Can you show them the inside of this box? This is cool. She made this up.
I could show the inside of the box. So you can see this is I have the right in there, and I have them all sectioned out with a little bit of the
bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. So is it in the bubble wrap
in there, and that way I hope to protect them. This was like a jewelry making kit that I turned into my crystal chakra kit to make it nice and easy to carry around. So like I was saying with the crystals, we'll start with the root chakra, and like this is a red jasper crystal, and it's a nice deep red color. Any crystal that's usually going to be in a deep red color is going to be great for your root chakra. And what's really cool with the crystals is like you can just use the crystal when you meditate on your chakra, and it can help bring that chakra into alignment. It can help you find blockages while you're sitting there with the crystal in your hand, because that color of that crystal can relate to that chakra. The cool thing about crystals is that they have many, many facets that they can be used with. So that's
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How would you know what a blockage is? What would that feel like?
Blockage would be where it varies between people, but usually you could feel that it might usually feel heavy for some people. It may feel stuck for some people.
Pain, maybe? Pain.
There might be pain related to that area of the body as well. Another really cool thing is when you're working with the crystals and your chakras, is you can use any other instrument that you have to align your chakras. So like if you use tuning forks, you want to use the tuning fork with the crystal, you can do that as well, and that can enhance that and that area. You don't have to place the crystal on the chakra. You can put it near the chakra if you want to when you're laying down, or you can just hold it. That works fine as well. And like I said, any deep red. So I also have this one here, and this is a mookaite. And mookaite comes in a variety of colors. So when you're picking out it, and if you have a crystal that you see that has a variety of colors in it, try to find one that has a good majority of that color that you're looking for. And this is an earth crystal. It's a very grounding crystal, which is also very good for your chakra, your root chakra there, is to have that. So that's very cool to have that one there like that. And then the next one up on our list is our sacral, and that one is orange. And I know you're like, orange? I've never seen an orange crystal. What? Yeah, you kind of have. The thing is that it's not maybe necessarily the bright orange that you're thinking of, but you want to look at the crystals that have orange related to them. This one is a hard one to see. It would be hard to see in this light, but if you've ever seen a sunstone. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oui, presque. J'en ai pris le matin pour mon avoine. Puis, c'était un peu mûr pour moi. Pas assez mûr, donc. Mais toi, tu aurais aimé ça. Et demain, il va être correct.
Or, you guys, people are not muted.
There we go.
Okay. The sunstone here, if you've ever seen this one up some, or if you go someplace and you can look at it, is a really great one for the Chakra because it has flecks of bright orange in it that kind of look like copper when you hold it in the light, and it reflects it, and it's sunstone. Also, you kind of think of the sun, you kind of think orange color. So that's a really great one for the sacral as well.
And where would the sacral, where is that located?
The sacral is around the navel area.
Okay.
Okay. And then moving up from there, we're going to the solar. And the solar is just above the navel, okay? And one great one for that one would be citrine. Citrine is a beautiful light yellow stone that's see-through. It's very pretty, and it's a very sun-oriented crystal. So that's another great one. Any crystals that are very sun-oriented would be great ones to use for that chakra. And it's you can also find other ones that are sun-related, and most of them are going to be yellow in color as well. And then moving up to the next one from there is going to be our heart chakra, which is right at our heart, right here in the center. Now, in most traditions of the chakras, they relate the heart to green. But a lot of people think of the heart, and when they relate to crystals, as pink or red, like most commonly most people know is like the rose quartz. So I do have a rose quartz here for that. You can use that as well. But I do have green crystals as well. And I have this beautiful green jade crystal, which is a really nice, pretty, kind of like mossy green color, which is really nice. So any of your green crystals can work. You can use the rose quartz as well. But I prefer more of the green ones.
Yeah, I imagine some people would think with the heart that would be the rose color, because a lot of people say that, but then you have the other theory of green being right here. Green is healing.
Green, healing and growth and stuff. So the green really does work well with the heart chakra. And then moving up to the next one is going to be our throat. Okay, and it's right there at the base of your throat is where that chakra usually is, approximately. And so when you're looking at that one, that's usually a blue color. And that's like a royal blue. So it's like a really deeper, it's not like dark blue, but it's this like really pretty blue. Sometimes people refer to it as light blue. So like I have like excuse me.
Azurite?
Not Azurite. Azurite. Sorry. Azurite. Which is a lighter blue with shades of a little bit deeper blue in it, which is a really nice one that works with your throat chakra. This is great when, like, a great way besides meditating with your chakra, with your crystals, is like if you have to give a speech and you need to talk a lot, having those crystals with you that are aligned with that chakra to help you speak more clearly and efficiently is a really good one to have. Carry it with you when you're doing any kind of presentation thing.
With that.
Here, I'll keep that.
De certaines variétés, mais elle a de couleur bleue, là. La gorge, le chakra de la gorge.
Lapis lazuli, lapis lazuli, yes, thank you, is a really great crystal for the throat chakra because it is that nice, pretty royal blue color. So that's a great one to have.
Okay.
And now I'd like to talk about that stone for a moment. So what's cool about lapis lazuli is the Egyptians the women used to make makeup out of it.
Yeah, they crushed it up, made it into makeup. They've been made into kinds of jewelry. They've made into paint. They crush it up and they put it into paint, the pigment into paint. They still do that in some places. It's really cool.
And it's supposed to have a lot of energy in it. It's supposed to be really known for that.
It's been around. It's one of those crystals that have been around for a long time that we know a lot about.
And it's become very popular too. So
yeah,
the price on it is rising.
Yeah. So then we go up to which is right between your eyes and your forehead. Some people call it the brow chakra or whatever, but it's your third eye. It's right up there. And that color is usually a violet, a purplish color. And one of the great purple stones for that is your amethyst. I mean, a lot of people are familiar with amethyst. Amethyst is a really great stone for connecting with that one because it is that wonderful, beautiful purple color, and it comes in such nice, beautiful shades of purple. Another one that I like as well is your fluorite, your purple fluorite, because that can come in some really beautiful purple colors as well. And they are really easy to get a hold of those crystals for using on your third eye.
Can you talk a little bit just for a moment about the third eye?
Yeah, you want to use your third eye if you're feeling like you can't connect with your intuition. You want to connect with your higher self. You want to communicate with other realms. Your third eye can help do that. So that's a really good one to use to do that with.
And regarding that third eye, I think that's what we usually generally think of when we're we want to have an idea, like you have a feeling about something. And if you're clear, you're going to have a better understanding of where that feeling's coming from.
Like it was
picking it up from somebody else, and is it my intuition saying, this isn't going to work, let's not go this way?
So like where I said you carry the blue crystal when you're doing a speech or talking, whatever, to help with that. You could carry the purple crystal when you need to try and figure out if this person that you're having a communication with is somebody who's being reliable to you, telling you the truth in a sense, like helping you connect with that gut feeling, and in a way, that crystal and lining it with your third eye chakra is going to help you figure that out better, and like you can trust your intuition more. And then the last one that we're most common with is our crown chakra, which is right above our head, on our head. It's like above our head here. And that one sometimes is related to purple, but it's also related to the white or clear. And of course, you then, quartz, lovely, beautiful quartz is a great one for your crown chakra, because it connects with everything, which is your crown chakra does. It helps connect everything together, helps connect to the higher realm, your higher self, higher realms, all those areas there that we are always trying to align ourselves with, and fully embody everything together is, you want to use with our crown chakra.
Would you say that would be a good thing to, like, if you're trying to do a spiritual connection?
Yeah,
I feel like you want to really be listened to and perhaps being given some answers.
Another good one is selenite. Selenite is another really good crystal for your crown chakra. A lot of people don't think about that, because most people, when they're talking with people within crystals, they only think of selenite as that crystal that cleanses types of things, but it has a lot more to it, and it's beautiful the way selenite is, and it has sometimes referred to as it has the angel beams of light coming through it.
Go ahead and bring it
is shaped.
See if they can and tilt it.
And this is like, unfortunately we don't have really great lighting here. If you're watching the video to see, but it has a beautiful, it's really a nice one.
Yeah, I like that. You can give me that one too.
No. No. You can borrow my crystals if you need it, but you do not get to keep my crystals. So that's just a little brief thing for your chakra crystals, just to give you an idea to stop thinking about it. If you want to start incorporating some crystals into your work of your spirituality and bringing it together, and start thinking about what you can use to do that with. And that's why I love the crystals for doing that purpose. And you can bring one at a time with your chakras, or you could get a set and line them all up and do all of that together. Like I said, you can also do the tuning forks with them, which is really cool. Do your meditations with the crystals. And when you start doing that and you're working it in, incorporating, you'll start to see that you can start to connect with different things, and you'll start to open it up within all of your chakras, and you start to feel yourself being aligned more. So that's just my little brief crystals.
So these are just tools in your life that you can go and explore. And don't be afraid of this stuff. It's there for you. All you have to do is decide, hey, I think I want to explore this more. I want to explore, and in my case, I want to explore the herbs more. They are so cool. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, I love that herb, and they've never, they might be a much older person, and they've never considered, well, maybe I could just dig it in my yard and grow it, or I can put it in a pot and grow it, and then access that when I'm going to cook. Some people, there's a lot of products out now that talk about herbs in them, like rosemary is a big one that they like to use in shampoo. A lot of people like to incorporate, because that's an antibacterial.
Rosemary is good for your hair. I just recently bought a product that has rosemary mint in it for my hair.
There you go.
So yeah, it is. It's really good. And, I love the rosemary mint. product for your hair. It's like a organic scrub. Really nice. But yeah, so like you don't have to just use the herbs for food.
Right.
You know, you can use them for other things as well. Same thing with the crystals. You know, these crystals are great for your chakras, but you can use them for other things as well. But don't be afraid to go ahead and explore all that we have around us and what we have to have fun here while we're here. You know, basically, it's like we're here to explore and expand and learn and have fun and just dive into all kinds of fascinating things, you know. So whatever strikes your interest, and if you start getting interested in something, go for it. And then you find something else, go for that too. It's okay. You know, that's what it's here for. We're here to explore and expand and just learn, and that's why we're here sharing our bits of passion that we enjoy and things that we love, to give you just some insight of like, yeah, I can do all these amazing things, and I can enjoy crystals, I can enjoy herbs, I can use those things in my life to enhance my life, to have fun in my life, and everything that we're doing brings you into a new step, a new place, and you're moving in a new direction, a new adventure. Yes. We love adventures.
Yes, we do. We love exploring like local stuff that's going on.
Absolutely.
If there's like a local festival, and often with the local festivals, they will have a plant vendor, and they may have some cool plants. They'll have some herbs. They often will let you try it. You want to, you know, especially obviously if it's edible. And a lot of the the nurseries around here have classes. So they will run a different type of class every month. I know one nursery that people bring their chair, and they have somebody that comes in and talks about it and which ones they like and which ones they don't. And it's a cool way that it's not just you and you're connecting this plant, but now you might have a connection to some of the cool people you meet when you're there, and some other people you can see month after month.
Yeah,
and have something in common with, and that just totally takes you, and they'll start telling you about some places they go or some of their favorites.
I mean, it's a great way to meet people and explore, you know. So if you're like move to a new area and you know you need to meet people, or you want to do, you know, you don't know anybody, go someplace where there's something that you find enjoyable. If you like plants, crystals, whatever it may be, find somewhere that's going on and go there and check it out, because, you know, at least that way you know that the other people there are interested in at least one other thing that you are. So at least you can have a conversation with other people, and you can start to learn and grow in the area that you're in. And so it makes it less scary when you're going places, when you do stuff like that. You know, because this world is full of wonder and amazement, and we should just be having fun and enjoying it all the time. As like, go out there and just have a blast. Mm-hmm. You know, and have a good time, and you never know what is around the next corner or what is out there. You know, we just enjoy it. You know, we only have so much while we're here, so have fun.
Yeah, and if you're not sure where to start, just maybe a local festival or something, you know, seasonal. Go out there, check it out, find out what people are doing, and there's something out there for you if you're not into what we're doing. But I got to tell you that one of the coolest thing about growing herbs is you can share them. So your plant, if it's doing well, it'll propagate, and then what you can do is you can take a piece of it and share it, or if it goes to seed, then you can share some of those seeds. You put them in an envelope, let them properly dry so they don't get mold on them or anything. But then you can mark the envelope, and then you can share those seeds with somebody else. And isn't it cool that you know that your plant that you had at your house, that a couple of years later you see it doing so well somewhere else, and you're like, I know where that started. Anyway, I keep that. Yeah.
There you go. So, you know, absolutely.
And then it's clean and connected with yours. And the exploration of crystals is very fun. So tell us, how many of those stones that you showed us are made out of crystal?
Really?
Like most stones, are they made out of crystal and are mineral?
Well, okay. When we say crystal is a term that's used in a general fashion. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're stones, they're gems, they're rocks. You know, all of those words kind of mean similar things. They come from the earth and they're dug up out of the ground. And they're usually found in large clusters. And then the ones if you were watching, you saw the video, you see it that they're been shaped and formed because people pulled them out and they polished them and cleaned them up and stuff for sale and things. So they come in a wide variety. You can even get ones that are carved in shapes and stuff, which can be very cool, which actually I have one in my pocket right now. I have my cool little fox.
Go further up so they can see it.
That's been carved into a shape. And you'll find a lot of these too, which can be very fun. So crystals not only can be great for what they're holding it as the type of crystal that they are, but when they're carved into something, they can carry that extra energy of whatever that is too, as well as what you're putting into it. Crystals are extremely fascinating. And again, that term is very loosely based. Majority of your stones out there are a quartz-based mineral, and they also have mineraloids, which is going to be more like obsidian, which is basically lava, which is cooled quickly, and it forms a black, glass. It's not glass, technically. It's similar to it. But, yeah, so that's kind of like a mineraloid, and it falls in there. And we'll still refer to it as a crystal. Even amber is sometimes referred to as a crystal, and it's not rock at all. It's a fossilized sap. Thank you. I know you were thinking the word I needed. Sap from trees. And that holds a lot of energy and power in it as well. But again, it just gets lumped in, and we call it a crystal as well, even though technically it's not. It's not any of that. It's a fossil. That's what it is. So it's cool. You know, there are so many things out there when you start looking and exploring that you can find and discover about all kinds of things. So it's like, even though it may be referred to as a general term like a crystal or whatever, there's so much more to that. And we just need to find our understanding of it in our words, to communicate with each other so that when we're discussing these things, that everybody understands what it is that we are doing together.
So I've seen amber before, and it looks like it's clear and like this golden color, almost a tiny bit of I guess like golden color, but it's clear. And
it is a golden color. It's like a golden orange color. Mm-hmm. It is see-through. Yes. And it is actually, and if you really like amber and you have a strong connection to it, it is a really good one for your solar plexus as well.
But I've seen them with bugs in them. They're petrified, like a petrified scorpion or some other kind of bug, and people wearing it.
Unfortunately, though, some of those are fake. Mm-hmm. It's a very easy one to fake because amber doesn't feel like it feels like plastic.
It's really light.
It's very light. It has a very kind of plastic feel to it, or resin type of feel. So it is a very easy one to fake that people can fake a lot. And the biggest way that they fake it is by putting a bug in it. So unfortunately, but it's still cool. You can still have it as for a fun thing, but if it has a solid bug in it, and they're selling it for like $15, I would not say that's a real piece of amber with a bug in it. No. You find a really big like piece of bug, a real full bug in an amber fossil, that thing's going for a lot of money. So yeah, just be a little cautious out there and know that not everybody out there is on the up and up. But that's part of life, and that's part of the things that we're going to learn. We learn and we discover, and that we're using our abilities and skills for as we're moving through this world, is figuring out what is out there and what's real, what's not real, what's here, what's not here, what are we doing, and all of these things, these passions, these joys, these adventures that we go on are helping us discover and learn those things.
Very well put.
All right. And I think that is our time.
Yes.
I think that's a great way to wrap it up.
Well, guys, we are so happy that you got to spend time with us. I do want to say, just throw in there, I'm not your doctor. We're not doctors.
Yes. Just medical advice.
Let's explore this world carefully. But that's, our bit on what we're thinking about with the joy of herbs, and they are joyous. They're amazing. Brighten your day with some herbs. I strongly recommend it. And let me just ask you real quick before we wrap up. Does it cost a lot of money to get these stones?
No, it does not. A lot of these crystals that I was talking about stuff are very inexpensive. It's like a few dollars to get them. So you could get a set of crystals to work with your full chakras very inexpensively.
And if you have some friends or neighbors that have a nice herbal garden, and you'd like to maybe start something of your own, don't be afraid to introduce yourself and say, hey, I live over there, and, would you mind if I took just a little bit of that and maybe start your herbal garden that way? And in that part, you could do a clipping, and they do make an enzyme that you can buy at a plant store, and you basically water the bottom of dip it in water and maybe a tiny bit of that powder, and then you put it in some water, and so it'll grow roots, and then you can go ahead and plant that plant at some point in your pot or in your garden. So it's a great way to share and meet people. All right, so we're going to call it a day. Thank you for being here with us. It's been so cool.
And listening to us, and you guys all have a wonderful night.
All right, thank you. Till next time.